superstar wide receiver.
I can go on and on about how great of a guy and great of a teammate Steph is, but the dude can flat out play. I love throwing to him, and he's just a great dude. All he wants to do is help his team win football games. He's a competitor. We have very similar mindsets. I love the guy. He goes out there and competes his tail off, and I'm super blessed that we traded for him.
Great game, Bills, doing their thing. Here's the AFC playoff picture after that win last night. The Steelers fall to the 2 seed after their second straight loss. Buffalo is now 2 games up in the AFC East. Most impressive part, gentlemen, of the Bills' win against the Steelers last night. Treggs, what do you got?
All right, so first half, the Bills' offense is kind of stumbling out of the gates, and nothing's really happening. They get that big pick six. And then something happened at halftime where essentially Sean McDermott and Brian Daboll looked at each other and they said, we've got Stephon Diggs in our team, and we should just go to him, go to him, go to him. An incredible drive to start the third quarter. Diggs, every single time. Allen to Diggs. All right, let's get this, move the chains a little bit. Allen to Diggs again. They would go to Diggs 5 times on this drive alone in third down situations, in first down situations. It was, let's go to our guy. This is why we traded a first-round pick, and Diggs made it happen. But my takeaway is that this Josh Allen, in wintry mix, in rain, in snow, the guy can just sling it. I am blown away by the velocity of his arm, and I will say this as we wake up and it's reaction Monday, everything. Under 30 quarterbacks in the league, give me Mahomes all day, every day. Number 2, it's Josh Allen. I'm starting my team with Josh Allen, the number 2 quarterback under 30 in the league. More than Lamar, more than Kyler, more than Deshaun Watson. This guy, the last 2 weeks, the Niners win and this win, has shown a lot of people on national TV, I don't need to prove it to you anymore. I just have it, and this team responds. Josh Allen has now really shown that he is here to stay. And I tell you what, if I'm the Chiefs, I don't want to see the Bills in the playoffs right now.
Yeah, Roethlisberger, what a burger, cheeseburger, it don't matter. Josh Allen was out there doing his thing. It don't matter. He was doing his thing, and the weather didn't matter. I mean, he's that one kid in the neighborhood that can just pelt you with snowballs, even though it's snowing. Like, why is he so accurate? But you're right, though. You're right about Stephon Diggs. They threw it to him 14 times. He caught 10 balls. And I could compliment Diggs and the trade and it working seamlessly. Yeah. But the mark of a number 1 wide receiver isn't just catching the ball when it's thrown to you. It's also making everybody else's job easier, and that's why he's special. Cole Beasley, he makes plays because you have Diggs that can attract a lot of attention. You have guys like Gabriel Davis. He had a few catches that touchdown in the back of the end zone. He came up big for his squad. Dawson Knox seemed like he makes a play every single weekend, and that's why I love this offense, because they're completely well-rounded. There's certain teams that if their number 1 wide receiver isn't doing their thing, their offense isn't moving.
Nate, this is without John Brown.
This is without John Brown, exactly. So the fact that they started to heat up, and I know that drive that you're talking about, I was watching the game, and all of a sudden it was Stephon Diggs, Stephon Diggs, Stephon Diggs, Stephon Diggs, and after that, the offense seemed to bloom. So I love the fact that not only can he step up and say, when we need something, come to me, but everybody else, they started making plays. And as a guy who prided himself on being a number 2 wide receiver for most of his career, I can appreciate a number 1 that takes pressure off of the other guys.
Big time. A lot of things to take away from last night, one of which is everyone's just going to absolutely sprint away from the Steelers now. They're done. Forget it. I'm not. There's been a couple teams that have gone 11-0 and lost their next 2 games. They went on to win the Super Bowl. The 98 Broncos, amazing team. The 09 Saints, both did the same thing. I'm not. I think they have a normal prep week for the first time. It feels like months. I think they're getting healthier. I think the Steelers still won't matter. However, Buffalo, you beautiful bastard. I'm so happy for Buffalo. I'm happy for our guy Pinto Ron with the ketchup and the mustard in the parking lot. I'm happy for wild time to be a Bills fan. This felt like Christmas. They are 10-3. And with Buffalo, it's always trust. Like, you're waiting for them to fold. You're waiting for them to fall on their face. Last night was the night. Pittsburgh comes, slaps them around, the whole party's over. They didn't have the big drop. They didn't have the big miss. They didn't fall on their face. It's not only that Buffalo is good, it's that they're great. And more important, you can trust Buffalo. You haven't trusted Buffalo in 25 years. They haven't won the division since before Josh Allen was born. It's a great, great night. And I got to say, my takeaway from this night was, it felt like if this was a fight, Buffalo knocks out Pittsburgh and they go to them in the ring and their adrenaline is up and they're sweating and, Joe Rogan's on the mic and they look ringside and they say, KC, I want you. Yeah. I want you now. I want you again. Let's do it tonight. It was like there was a call-out factor of gimme KC now, especially with what we saw from KC earlier the day, which we'll get into. Buffalo's the second best team in the AFC. Buffalo could win the AFC if they played like that. It was just a great night in Buffalo. Great night.
They left the Raiders as that confusing trust. Do we trust them or not tier? And they're now in. You can't poke any holes into anything that they're doing. You had a ton of confidence in them. We'll gauge our trust in those teams. We'll go over to the NFC and talk Tampa Bay, Vikings. Our trust level in those going forward. We have more highlights right now. Tweet our show at GMFB. Chiefs Dolphins was a fun one.
Yeah, let's talk about that Chiefs team. They got everything they could from a Dolphins team that was undermanned and played fantastic football against KC. There's Mahomes. Here we go. Looking. Sorry, Mahomes. It's an interception, and there would be several. There would be 3 picks from Patrick Mahomes in this game. Did not look like himself. And yet, 2nd and 5, rolling. That looks like himself. That's what they have that no one else does in this league. It's that instant ability to just put points on the board. They would figure it out. Dolphins would come all the way back in this game. Tua played really well. But at the end, it was Kelsey, where they won a Super Bowl just, 10 months earlier, coming back and finding a way to get the victory. 33-27, they were up late in the 3rd quarter. The Dolphins came roaring back, but it was enough. The Chiefs now are the #1 seed in the AFC and 12-1.
And they've got the Saints in New Orleans next week. Nice little Week 15 battle there. We'll get to those Saints highlights in a bit. Ian Rappaport joining us right now. Rap Sheet. We saw a couple of quarterbacks leave their games early yesterday. What is the latest with Alex Smith and, of course, Matthew Stafford?
Well, we'll start with Alex Smith, the feel-good story for the Washington football team, who somehow, someway has had this team, along with its nasty defense, in first place in the NFC East. Alex Smith was diagnosed with a calf strain after yesterday's game, left the game early, and you could sort of feel like everyone hold their collective breaths after they showed him on the bench with that big apparatus around his leg. Did not look good. But after some tests, and they're going to come in this morning and just see how Alex Smith did, but after some tests, this does not seem like a major injury. All x-rays were negative. That is a good sign. A somewhat moderate and mild calf strain. We'll see if he's able to practice on Wednesday and what his status is, or if it's going to have to be Dwayne Haskins on Sunday. Meanwhile, for Matthew Stafford, the unbelievably tough Matthew Stafford, he has a rib injury, had tests right after the game. No definitive diagnosis on this hit you're seeing right there. We kind of got crunched from all angles. What I know right now is that he is in unbelievable amount of pain. No one has ruled him out of anything, but certainly there is a possibility that we could see Chase Daniel down the stretch now for the Lions.
Never like seeing rib injuries on a quarterback. Thanks so much, Ian. Ian, any thoughts or updates on the fact that Gmail and YouTube are down, which is just shutting the entire world down right now?
What?